should warn you before you step inside the house. This could change the course of your entire life.
I'm not afraid of a couple ghosts.
You say that now.
Disney's Haunted Mansion is the second attempt to make a movie based on their popular theme park ride. Rosario Dawson and Lakeith Stanfield star in this story about people trying to free themselves from the many ghosts that haunt their Louisiana home. Owen Wilson, Tiffany Haddish, Jamie Lee Curtis, and Danny DeVito play secondary characters who add a lot of humor, but you're there for the spooky ghosties of it all.
We're in a fight, whether we like it or not.
Or else we're stuck here for eternity.
Disney gets the tone right this time around, giving us a movie that is mostly silly scares, nice special effects, and a solid family-friendly message, and a lot of genuinely amusing moments.
Where'd you get it from anyway?
Apparently it was the hand of someone that could connect with the dead.
Talk to Me is a scary movie, the story of a bunch of teenagers using an occult object as a party game. It allows them to see dead people, but the problem is that the dead people also get to see the teens who are way over their heads. This is a good film with better than usual acting, a motivated screenplay, and of course plenty of chilling scares. It's another winner from distributor A24 Films.
You want to sell high-end stuffed Himalayan cats?
Understuffed, actually, for greater posability.
We're professionals. We're giving the people what they need.
The Beanie Bubble stars Zach Galifianakis as Ty, who's the creator of the Beanie Babies, as well as Elizabeth Banks, Sarah Snook, and Geraldine Viswanathan as three women who are actually doing all the work in his company. This is a fun comedy about a business exec who is out of control and the women who rise up to bring him down. The cast is having a great time in this movie that's based on real events, but mostly made up into a comedy about toppling the patriarchy.
You considered poisoning him? Countless times.
The situation here in Houston is dire. It's a quality of life public safety issue. We have too many stray animals on our streets.
And finally, For the Animals is a local film available on home streaming. It looks at the issue of stray animals in Houston and the two sisters who are trying to rescue those neglected and abused animals and get them adopted into loving families. Some of the images of stray dogs are tough to watch, but the sisters at the heart of this movie have a great message. I love supporting Texas filmmakers, especially in this nice little documentary that deals with a problem that a lot of people are very passionate about. You can catch this one on home streaming this weekend.
I get mad at the people that don't do anything, because if everybody would do a little bit, we could fix it.
And that's what's new this weekend at the movies. I'm Sean McBride, the movie guy.
Welcome in to a Friday edition of the morning show, arguably the best edition, as we like to call it around here. Not only because it's Friday, but also because that means Sean McBride, the movie guy,
Get to talk about fun things,
is always stopping by to give us a rundown of the weekend movies, good or bad, doesn't matter.
And I will say, you know, summer has been kind of hit and miss up to this point.
It has, yeah.
But these last couple of weeks, we've had some good movies to talk about.
Absolutely.
And so that's another reason for it to be best. When the movies are good, it just makes this segment a lot easier.
It makes it so much more fun. Gives you something to look forward to, and
Exactly.
actually might be interested in seeing the movies this weekend. And sounds like there might be a couple good ones that might spark some interest.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting because the big movie out this week is going to be Haunted Mansion. And you may be saying to yourself, wait a minute, Disney, didn't they already make a Haunted Mansion with Eddie Murphy back in 2003?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, they did, but that movie was kind of a critical and a box office bomb, a flop. And part of it was that they just didn't understand how to get the tone right. You know, it's Eddie Murphy, so it's a comedy, except it's a horror film, and it just kind of didn't really work. I think they have fixed the tone this time around. This is a story, you've got Rosario Dawson plays a woman who gets a mansion and she's going to be using it for an Airbnb or something like that, except that the place is haunted. And that's not just one ghost, it's hundreds of ghosts.
Oh, goody.
And what's more is once you cross the threshold, the ghost's attached to you. So she wisely says, oh no, we're getting out of here, except the ghosts follow her home.
Of course.
So, you know, that can't help. So Lakeith Stanfield plays a guy, he's in mourning because his wife has passed, but he has developed a camera that theoretically will allow him to film ghosts.
Oh, okay.
And so she asks him to help, but of course now he's being haunted. And we have a bunch of supporting characters, Tiffany Haddish as a medium, Owen Wilson as a priest, and then also Danny DeVito as a science guy. He's just, you know, these people are all very funny. And it's kind of nice because you end up with the main characters, Stanfield and Dawson, playing us kind of a straight characters. They're not trying to do the comedy. They're trying to survive and do what's best for her son.
Absolutely.
And then you have all these supporting characters that can tell the jokes on the side. And there's some good jokes, some laugh out loud jokes here. And I think the spirits, the special effects are really well done. this is a movie that, you know, it's Disney, so can I take my kids to it? Well, don't take your little kids to it. I mean, but it's not a horror film that is terrifying. The toughest thing is there's a moment where there's a ghost of a bride who has chopped up her husband's with an axe. So when you have a ghost waving an axe at you, that gets your attention. But for the most part, they're just kind of silly ghosts. I mean, there's one moment where Owen Wilson's character is talking to a bunch of ghosts because he's trying to convince them to stop haunting them. You know, it's kind of that kind of thing. And there is a ghost that looks like he's a mummy, but with snaggletooth, whatever. It's a silly. And he finally stops and says to the ghost, "You're creeping me out. Would you turn around, please?" And the ghost turns around. You know, so it's more benevolent ghosts.
Right.
You know, it's a lot of fun. I think they get the tone right. Like I said, you get those main actors doing a story about these two people who have experienced grief and them coming together and kind of forming a family. And then you get those supporting characters around there to add the humor. Special effects are great.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm very pleased with this. Disney, you know, obviously the last theme park ride they made into a movie was Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yep. They
They would very much like this to be a big movie that spawns multiple sequels. I think they've got it right. So I like this one. I'm surprised. I did not think anybody was tracking this movie. I didn't think anybody cared.
Right.
A lot of people care. It's really well done.
Well, could be a good one. Good to know that there's a little bit of comedy in it. So after you see the bride with an axe, you get to laugh a little bit, right? After being scared.
And it's like spooky ooky, you know, not scary. You know?
Right. You're not screaming. Okay.
Right.
There you go. That's an option for you. Also this week.
Now, if you want scary, we have a film called Talk to Me, and this is it's an indie film out of Australia. These twin brothers are directorial. Basically, the idea is that there is this hand, the hand of someone who could communicate with the dead. We really don't know what happened, but now it's a hand that is encased in plaster, you know. And if you hold the hand and say, "Talk to me," you can see ghosts. And if you say, "I let you in," the ghost will take possession of you. And so a bunch of teenagers are doing this, and for only 90 seconds, lest the ghosts want to stay. But they're having fun because they're bored teenagers, and they just want to play with the occult. Look, there's a lot of movies about teenagers playing with the occult, and of course, getting in over their heads, right? This one I like because there are reasons why these teenagers do these stupid things.
Yeah.
You know, and one, you have a girl who's kind of socially awkward, and so she wants to do this to fit in with the cool kids. And then you have a younger kid, a boy, who's, you know, he's hanging out with these older teenagers. He wants to do it to prove that he's grown up and he fits. And they're the ones that in particular get in over their heads. I like that there are actual characterizations that we can deal with here, but it is kind of a jump out at you horror film. It's got some good scares, it's got good special effects. It's, like I say, it's an indie film, so it doesn't feel polished by any means. I mean, the craft service budget, the food on Haunted Mansion pays for this movie 5 times over. But I think it works well with, you know, what it has at its disposal. It's scary. Good performances, a nice script. I'm a fan of this film. It's from A24. A24 has had just one home run after another when they're picking movies.
Really?
So this is a good movie.
It seems like a good one, maybe not one that we normally see when it comes to horror movies, like a little bit different in that kind of sense.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a polished horror film, but I appreciate that about it.
Okay.
But don't take your family to see this one the way you would take a family to Haunted Mansion.
No, Haunted Mansion, good. Yeah. The other one, bad. Okay, so then also, I gotta know about this one because, of course, Beanie Babies, as we all know, were a classic for a very long time, collecting them, you name it, had way too many.
Oh, did you? Okay.
And now you got the Beanie Bubble.
The Beanie Bubble, and this is a Hollywood true story, which means they start off with a kernel of truth and then do whatever they want with it. As a matter of fact, they even say that right at the first opening credits of this. They say, we made up a lot of this stuff here. But it's Zach Galifianakis. He's playing Ty. Remember, Beanies are from Ty. He's the Ty of that company. And he starts this thing with his best friend, who's played by Elizabeth Banks, and the company grows, and it's also his relationship with a woman he proposes to, played by Sarah Snook of Succession fame. And then another woman who's kind of like a burgeoning, she knows about the internet when the internet's just starting at this point. So it's these 3 women who really push him to success in the whole company, and when they expect to be cut into the success of the company, he kind of pushes them out and cuts them out and tries to take success for everything himself. So it becomes a story about, you know, these women getting even with the guy, kind of an idiot man-child who can't succeed without it. I think the performances are a lot of fun. Zach Galifianakis, he just loves playing these out there characters.
Oh, yeah.
This is a guy who's more obsessed with plastic surgery and looking cool than actually learning anything. I think it's a lot of fun. It's over on Apple TV Plus.
Okay.
Yeah, I enjoyed this one as well. Like I said, it's another good week at the movies. So.
It seems like it. That one rated R. Again, it seems like maybe Beanie Babies, you think, oh, the kids.
Yeah.
Maybe not for
Maybe
that
not.
one.
This
Yeah, okay.
More about feminism and, yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Okay, this last one kind of interesting.
This one is a locally produced film, and we want to spotlight it because I want to support local filmmakers.
Of course, yeah.
But this is called For the Animals, and this is a filmmaker, and she's specifically dealing with the issue of stray animals in Houston. And that, obviously that's a problem. It's not. It's a problem we have here in Beaumont as well. But I think it's well done. I will say, if you're an animal lover, you're going to both love and hate this. The first part of this is these women going out into the streets, and we see animals in states of neglect. We see an animal, a little puppy on the floor. Yeah, that shot of a dog running into the street, doesn't get hit.
I thought he got hit by a car. Oh my God.
Same reaction here. That's the toughest shot of the whole movie. It's like, oh, these poor animals. If you're an animal lover, you want to see this. Now it starts off with that issue. It segues into they're looking at Bark, which is the shelter in Houston that was controversial. And they're obviously trying to get into no-kill shelters, and they're trying to adopt these animals here. And I see that little puppy there, tearing out my heart.
Right.
Look, and then ultimately, it's the story of these two women. They're high society gals. They are Texas fabulous. They're just, they're of Scandinavian origin, but they're these tall, willowy, blonde women who are of a certain age. But they are just starting this foundation, and it's so Texas. It starts off with a prayer in the back seat of their town car. It's something that we've all done here. We're gonna, dear Lord, help us save animals today. It's such a Texas story, and these women who are starting the foundation, they're high. They've got some money, obviously, but they're raising funds to start their pet set, this group that's dedicated to saving animals. Documentaries work if you have a compelling subject, animals, abused animals, that's compelling.
Of course.
And if you have a good tour guide into this world, if you have someone who is intriguing enough that you'll follow them and want to listen to what they have to say. And these two women are very interesting to, I enjoyed it quite a bit. Now, let's not kid ourselves. To some extent, this is they're trying to raise some money for their organization. And, okay, so that may not be the highest route. It's not a movie well, it is a movie. It's a good movie. It's a documentary, but it's also kind of a commercial to some extent. But I think there are enough people who feel strongly about animals that they'll definitely want to see this.
Oh my gosh,
this one's going to be, it's in a few theaters. If you're in Houston, you probably will see it. I don't know the specifics of there, but go on streaming. You'll be able to watch it online this weekend. So.
Okay, well, there's 4 options for you as you head into the weekend. A couple movies going on. We want to thank Sean for stopping by on this Friday, giving us a rundown of all the movies.
Good movies.
Still to come this morning. Full check of your forecast.